Yo guys, I want to talk about some Jax, Camille versus Jax matchup. Now this matchup always used to be very hard. These days it's a bit lighter just because Jax's all-in is a bit weaker with little tempo as it got nerfed, and TC also got nerfed by a significant amount. So this will help you actually things a bit in the matchup. Note they don't have Ignite because realistically you can't really kill him if he plays well. So you would prefer to get the roam off with like E-Flash. Right, like E-Flash is very dangerous on Camille because of your ult as well. That could set up your team really nicely. But also the goal is very simple, just to survive and scale. You cannot beat him early on, so don't overforce it. Don't be like, yeah bro, I gonna beat this guy. It ain't it. Now this matchup specifically, there are two rushes that you could go for, Ravenous, or of course the other option would be just out there is the General Trinity Force one. Thunder Sky, I don't know how to feel about it, that's all I'm gonna say. But Ravenous itself, the healing itself got very nicely healed, buffed I mean, right? Which means that you can survive a little bit better once you have the item, right? And the activated ability is a bit more useful against Jax, right? Just because the extra wave clear allowance just gives you the possibility to roam a little more, and with the activatable from Tiamat, from the other one, you can proc his bomb plating if he has it. This guy doesn't have bomb plating, but it helps you to trade into him, because that's usually the only way you can trade into him, and W on occasion, but you got to be careful with W's, because he could just jump in, and that could get a bit fucky. Now, in here, at least I put a sort of a winning matchup on the Spike roams, but at most, I think for Pike it's not the easiest to roam mid lane, especially if Ahri reaches 6, I would say. Then the jungle matchup, I would say Lee Sin does actually beat Nidalee in general. Nidalee has to be like very skilled, like he has to dodge every single Q, she has to go for so many short trades through bushes, but it's not even possible, you know, like it's just very hard to beat a Lee because it takes away too many short trades, so it's just not it, you know, it's very hard to even imagine that, right? It's not something that you recommended to fight overall. Now, in here we do go D-Shield. It's not really worth to go D-Blade. I know it would synergize with Ravenous. Could we try it though after? We could try it after Jax nerfs. Maybe you can greed, but we may regret this at the same time, you know. It's maybe a regret, but it works really nicely with like Ravenous itself, you know. So, it's more of a scaling choice. But we'll see how much we regret it, you know. We just like cover. I can E-start as well. Generally, E-start is also not bad into Jax. Oh. They use the stun. I mean, thank you guys. So Jax E-started, it got revealed, and we have E-start as well to counter that. So we even held into flash there, because like they weren't hard focusing me. They didn't have too much DPS. Now we did pick up that kill because of my Sun Brown stun, so we really had to optimize into like this E-start. Which is also useful in lane. It's actually recommended just because you can actually like E him and it tries to E you, and that will just allow you to play a bit more safely, and his E will overpush the wave, so you'll get a bit more CS later on. Then you can look for basic trades with your passive, with your grasp, right? Short trades in general. We could check on this blue. There is a ward where it's getting stolen right now, so we could a little bit check on it, because like arriving in lane earlier does really nothing, and you wanna really approach it from the side, because he will try to level 1 zone you at most. Look, this Jax is not level 1 zoning at all. Maybe he thinks I W start. I don't know, man. It's just kind of random. That's fine, because we got damage on him. That's fine. I always say that's fine. His basic attack is apparently faster than yours, so the shield doesn't really protect your HP. But if you Q in, that generally speaking should work even against Gemset. Do have higher amount of attack speed just because you know it's very fast. Like I'm telling you guys, like I can't even gank you Camille because of her Q, and she always shields herself. So it's very. I want a piece of that lamp. I have to basic him if he jumps in, so you should always be primed to do that. When here, I just allow him to push the wave. If you don't get dived, you should be happy. We can't really be dived. but you shouldn't be poked down if like in the sense that you get dived. You know, like just shield the fuck down here, pick minions, pick as many minions as possible up. At least we messed up his recall timer. Yeah, still no ESO. I'm not sure if that would kill, but I'm not sure. Probably it wouldn't kill after nerves, but I could ban pop a biscuit, but just for safety, you know. I'm not 100% sure what to tell you guys there. I mean, there is a word where it kills, there is a word where it doesn't, but probably if I pop the biscuit it wouldn't, but you know how it is. Just for safety purposes, because it's easier than to shove in the next wave. I mean, when I have a bit more. It would be nice if Nidali came actually, but we can E out at most. It's just like, it's not... You go jump in on me, no? I see. Oh, what? That got sidestepped. What the hell is that even? In here we have to push this wave in. Holy fucking shit. I'm gonna put a point in W actually, so he dies for sure. I mean, he already dies for sure, but like... Yeah, I know how it is, I mean... That's unfortunate. That's a bit unfortunate. See that flash, man, that's kinda surprising. It's ever. Forgot about this flash actually as a whole. Maybe I could ban actually hold into it and yeah, it's on me. On me. At least the wave will be in a good spot for you. I actually forgot about this flash. Because Dave was obviously around, but I thought I can pick him up and deny a lot of CS, but I forgot about his flash as a whole. He never really flashed, even level 1 he didn't really flash. I just looked like he could flash, but he didn't really flash. And I'm kinda happy though, that I didn't have money for Tiamat, because I would just... Where is he dumb though? I think he's just dead as fuck, you know? Now I want freeze, which is a bit of a bummer, but I think that kill should be worth. Because you need gold, like you need XP on Camille, but you need as much as possible gold on this champion, right? But you need both, but gold is very good to have, you know, on this champion. It won't be a freeze or anything. Nidali, does she want grabs? What is she pinging? Does she want grabs or does she want the other one? She's not pinging anything yet. I'm just trying to pay it. She goes rake, so we will not push. He does have a fade. She has no sheen, so he's a bit on the defensive side actually somehow. I mean, this matchup is a bit more fair after Jack's nerfs, right? Every little tempo matchup is a bit easier, so Camille is a bit more valid these days. Because every little tempo matchup, generally speaking, smashes her. Just smashes her, you know? And you cannot do much about them, usually. Just smash R. It's like a Warwick, you know? You smash your R on the ground. I mean... I think I could get that wave. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't be that greedy. I think this wave will be under tower anyways. I could theoretically escape Lee Sin in no time, but I think this should be under tower anyways. Please be under tower. Yeah, it is under tower anyways, as I thought. I'm even sure like if Qmax is worth into Jax. I mean, in Paris, Wmax is interesting, nonetheless, but it has to hit, and sometimes it doesn't, right? I think you just go by plan with Qmax. I think this Ravenous makes a lot of sense into Jax, but it really feels to be a bit more fair, this matchup. I swear, like, it used to be so unfair. It used to be so disgustingly unfair. I'm gonna leave a ward for Nidali. I mean, I kinda killed... Yeah, it's fine. Like, it's fine, cause, like, I got camped now, and I mean, I got one time kill ganked, that's not really the end of the war, but... for now, we just allow him to shove back slow. Didn't the whole tower... I didn't go under tower, apparently, as a whole. We don't have R now, and we don't have, like, the best, tools to escape. We don't have flash, so we have E, which is a good tool to escape, but I would just allow him to push this back and just stay on the defensive side a little bit, because we are the only ones that could be ganked. I mean, Ahri is not very gankable, right? Of course there's bot, but they are not very gankable either. So I don't know, guys, we just have to suck ass till we can kick ass still. We have to just back off a little bit. Okay.
It's not lies that cut, but the sharpness of the truth.
Can maybe try to... Could look to TP, but for now I just wanna hold a little. Wait, I let that loose too quickly. But I think it's fine because they invade, so I would just push then. It doesn't really invade. It's kinda random. I could eat the wall now. The W was very bad though. The trade wouldn't be that bad if the W wasn't that bad, but yeah, like you see how disgusting the champ is. We are ahead with items, it doesn't really matter. It's Jax, man. It's Jax, man. You're ahead with items. Ooh. Big thing, bruh. You're ahead with items, what's that even? What's all that fuss about? That's how, like, 0-4, he has like piece items, but it's Jax, you know? So it's just Jax, you know? If he gives up, he's dead, no? Bit concerned about Lee, TFF already, GG well played. But you see how disgusting the champ is, right? I had clear item advantages. Now, I don't have Ignite, that's true, but it's still quite challenging even if you're above him. So don't get way too overconfident, you get some kills, you get some CS lead, whatever. It does not allow you to do all that much. You need to have like real item leads, and once you have like a Ravenous and you don't have an item, then of course you can do something with it. But generally speaking, this will not be your easiest possible matchup. Now we can, again, this is just optional, we can look a little bit more into the details, so if you want to stay, I'm totally fine with that. If you want to leave, of course, it's up to you. It's just really all about like looking a little bit more into detail of what happened, how to play around him, of course. If you want to stay around, that's fine. If you don't, it's fine. I don't know why does he have the name Pig Uncle Iroh. I know that guy Uncle Iroh in game is quite a good player. He doesn't really claims either. I don't know why does he hate him. I'd say here we see Jax already inted, but not to me, it's to my laner, so it's not doesn't really gives me any upfront edges in the lane, except that he's a bit of XP to get level 2, but he pushes the wave anyways, like, he gets the push in, not me, so it's like, it doesn't really allows me to do anything particularly. Then in here the laning phase starts out, of course, like, I thought he gonna insta E, but we still got a trade in him, which is, again, just totally fine. It's a free trade, and now, because he has no E, it's better him to not have E than me. Because like it really comes down to like I can trade with grasp and with passive, right? But he doesn't really have his E to deny that right opportunity. So his E being on cooldown is bigger of a thing level 1 than my E, and they have sort of even cooldown. Of course my E has like 1 more second, but you can just play around that 1 second gap, right? And you should really, because you could get all in, right? And in here I make my W. Q is not actually I made my Q. I guess making Q is fine, because if you W the backline minions, sometimes you're not like last hittable, I assume. So maybe that was my thought process, or just to like grasp it into him, sneak in some basics maybe. But as much as possible, you should sneak in some basic attacks now and then. Play a little bit of a mind game around his E, of course. And in here I step up, I cancel his recall, you know, I go back, of course I get the cannon. He jumps in, maybe I could ban W when he walked out, but it's not the end of the world, you know, when I was stunned I could ban like buffer W, or use it, I mean. But that's whatever. Then in here he does get killed because he does misplay, he gets W, of course his E. Right, like I played around his E, right, his E was still on cooldown, because like 15 seconds, still those 15 seconds you gotta like, legit in your plane, you're actually just like, every time just counting, because it's so important, the W max, always, so you shouldn't be concerned that the cooldown gonna be lower, and often they generally go Bork, but sometimes they go cooldown items that could lower the cooldown of his E. But till he doesn't get extra points in his E, you shouldn't be concerned of that. Now in here his E came up, but in here it's a very bad E angle, because like I could E him after and he could get smashed, so he's holding into it for some random reason. And even in here, if he eat, meantime, I eat him, I wouldn't really die or anything, But in here, I was a bit scared. Like, he used his E, I was a little bit scared. I don't know how scary this is. I mean, Idali healed me. Probably I shouldn't flash. I think I wasted flash. I even had biscuit. Like, let's be real, he dies in one fart after his E expires. I don't think so he can just like... Yeah, I don't think so he can just like one-shot my HP. And I would have flash for the next case scenario where Jax flashed away and I couldn't catch up, Like in here we do get ganked, so our jungle tracking went a little bit off the radar. So in here if I had flash, I could ban flash after him. But it's a bit questionable, right? Because I wouldn't kill him with E, maybe with W, but it's kinda hard, right? Where's my W? So maybe if I held into W and then I flashed to reposition, I would get the kill and deny him the CS, I would say. That's definitely a possibility. So I bait his I bait his E flash with E. Then I W and flash after him to reposition, I would say, because Lee has no kick yet to disposition me. And that would be a kill, because I kinda, like, yeah. Yeah, W would kill him. So basically, even though he doesn't steps up with his E, I could ban still just W flash and he would die, because I have 2 points in W. So that normally, I think that I do suppose that very easily could kill him, but let's move on from that. It's not the end of the war. Now there will be some other kills in here. Let's go back to this kill. Again, the matchup doesn't get to be way easier. We do have some item advantages, but it's just still Jax XD, which is nerfed, but it's still Jax, so keep that in mind. That in here, again, what he did is very simple, as you guys remember, he overstepped, of course. I EW'd in, I utilized my Q. Of course, I queued the minions to get my empowered Q by the time I reach Jax, and also to get some mobility. He does die the Jax in here, that's super good for you, but again, don't let that go into your head, because you guys visually saw like how disgusting his damage is, And it is what it is, but you cannot force him freely. You gotta play very cautiously all the time. And in here we do trade a little, he does R. I think I W incorrectly, no? No, it connects properly. One W I messed up though. And in here he jumps in. It's kinda random, because I think even if he hits his E, I wouldn't die there. Like, I could ban E and R him after, so it's kinda random that he went in. Maybe he was too desperate, but I think I wouldn't. Would I die? I mean, you can R him, but like, I'm just low-key thinking maybe R was wasted, but just for safety I used it. But maybe I could ban Spirit even so and just E him. But I guess it's not the end of the board. We just did it for safety purposes, because 100% I didn't know the limitations of the matchups, and I'm kind of confident that he wouldn't really kill. I could then just see him, like, very likely, even after his stun, even if I don't react to his jumpy, I could BT, I could then just like eat him after the stun. I think I'm pretty much sure I wouldn't die there, but you see, like, now and then I did actually very easily waste some things that I shouldn't. And in here we get all in. You guys can see that I do have an item advantage, but it's just still Jax. And you're not allowed to do too many misplays. I mess up my W, so this is one of those Ws I mess up a little bit. So you gotta be careful when people have speed ups, of course. And here it's very simple what we do. We try to hold a little bit away, but then I decided I shove it because maybe they invade and still camp. So I was like, maybe they're invading or some. So I was like, and I kind of messed up, but this wouldn't freeze either way because we have Tiamat. So I was like, we should hold it, but with Tiamat it's not very possible. Then also Jax was kind of like trying to steal camp, so I was like, I'm gonna get his plates then. In here we sneaked in a Q, we eat him, but not in time, so the E was a bit delayed. That was one of the problems. The E was very delayed, and you guys can see how disgusting his damage can be, right? So you shouldn't allow him to connect his E. So two things you can do. You can either E him back, or E out. He has an extra point in E, it's kinda random. But in here, I think he did get a... Maybe he did get a third basic attack on me from his passive, no? And he did get a W on me, huh? So, he does some damage. And in here I was late on using E. I could ban E out or E in. But I would say more likely E out, because I think Eing into him is a bit bad because you don't have abilities. W will come, but we may not get the best value out of it, right? And yeah, I mean, I think I could then just E out in here. I think I was holding way too much into. Yep. Then the big problem was W didn't heal. W didn't deal real damage because it was inside of the part, right? It was the inside part of the W. So that doesn't heal, so that doesn't deal enough damage, right? Doesn't slows. So that's a bit of a bummer, of course, as well. You guys can see, just so you guys can see how much damage you can do if you mess things up. Mess things up, right? Now that W would deal a teensy bit more damage to his HP, but I would still not recommend you to E in there, because he had like he had an E that was stacked up, you know, like his E was stacked up of minions, so he dealt actually 200 percentage damage on it, of course. I mean 100 more percentage damage on it, my bad. So it's still not the easiest champion to like deal with, especially because his like rune is also all in oriented the lethal tempo, and it scales up slowly and slowly, while my rune is a bit more so short range oriented. So you have to be like, as I said, like you have to be like an item ahead at least to like force too hard. And here we go in. When here I get a bit inconfident to Orin, probably I should ban. Probably I should ban. I was just a bit scared of his R, but I do believe he had no EQ. He had no EQ. Like he had no E. Like he Arsin, what happens? He gets like 19. It does not do enough. Camille Sor is buffed. So this is 20 plus 4%. Yeah, I think he dies without. Yeah, he would die. I was a bit inconfident because I didn't know where Lee is. And I was like, the champion is a bit strong, but mainly like Lee was the concerning thing. But I guess he just died and respawned right now. I didn't check that. I think I didn't check that. Oh yeah, there was no way Lee would intercept, so I kinda didn't actually get the kill there, huh? I kinda did not get the kill there. And in here they just have F, so there's not much to say, but at most you guys got what to do, of course. You should be very cautious with W. He could jump in, you can sneak in some Qs now and then, but make sure that you'll be able to E his E, of course. From the other hand, you can basic attack trade into him when he has no E, of course, especially with grass, you know, passive. It's not hard at all. I would recommend you to Q in, so it will actually tank his basic attack, so he doesn't get your bomb plating. From the other hand, make sure that you go for the best possible W's. Also super good to use, but generally he's not all inable, as I said. So you should use R when he's either very low, you outplay his E, or it's like, you know, you can just like use it against the enemy top laner when your jungler is around, basically. But that's it for now, guys. Have a nice day.